Hey, in this video, let's talk about sales. What about sales? How I sell in-home service work. That's right. You need to have a system. You need to have a way that you need to talk to clients so that you can make sure that every sale is not just someone thinking that you're going to sell them, that you're actually going to give them value and give them service. If you're ready, let's go into my 5 biggest tips that I've learned over the 30 plus years of being an electrician. In fact, if you don't know, I'm a C10 journeyman in Los Angeles, California, and a master electrician unlimited contractor here in Montana. I've been in $20 million Beverly Hills mansions and sold work, and I've sold work off-grid in a cabin here in Montana. So if there's anybody that's going to teach you how to sell service work and the right words and the way to do it, you found the right channel. If you get something out of these videos, make sure you hit subscribe and follow, ring that bell. Don't forget to check us out on Instagram and TikTok. But right now, let's get into the video. Okay, before we begin, let me tell you how I walk into a client's house. I walk like I'm going into battle. That's right. There's 2 battles that you need to win as soon as you knock on that door. Battle number 1, which I would argue is the more important one, is to make the sale. You've got to get in there to sell something. You have to have some kind of product so you can exchange for checks. And if you know me, you know I love checks. There's only one thing I like more than checks, and that's cold hard cash. So that's the first battle, is making sure that you have something to offer so that you can exchange it for money. The second battle, of course, is to do that work, correct? You got to complete that work. That's the second battle. You got to get in there, troubleshoot it, find out what it is, etc., etc. So that's what I mean by you need to get ready to go into battle. I have found that my success rate to sell contracts is exponentially higher when I walk up to the door dressed the part as an electrician. Okay, I'm an electrical contractor. I don't do the work anymore. However, I still put on my electrical belt with my tools and my tester and my clipboard because I want the client to know that, hey, I'm not a salesman. I'm an actual electrician and I'm ready to do the work. Now, it doesn't mean that you're going to do the work right on the spot. I teach you all of that system that I have in my business and how I micro franchise, but the client doesn't know that yet. So you got to play the part. You got to come in uniform. That is actually the prequel to get into my first tip. Are you ready? Let's go. Tip number 1, which you must do right off the bat, is to give a brief personal introduction. What does that mean? As soon as you knock on that door, you are going to present yourself and say, hello, Mr. Jones. My name is Jeff from the 360 Electrician. The office called me and told me to head on over because you have a problem with your electrical, whatever that may be. And then they say, sure, Jeff. Yeah, absolutely. I have this problem. Come on in and check it out. As soon as you're invited in, at this point, you're going to have to give some kind of personal introduction. That introduction could be anything that you saw outside regarding maybe the vehicle they drive. Maybe something you found in the yard that you own yourself. Maybe they had Starlink and you have Starlink. Or maybe if you don't have Starlink, you know about Starlink. Maybe it's the neighborhood you're in, you grew up in. I would go in and as soon as they say, sure, come on in, I'd say, thanks, Mr. Jones. Hey, by the way, I noticed you have a Starlink satellite. I've been thinking about getting Starlink. Do you love it? What you've just done is you've broken barriers and you've made your existence personal. Now he wants to tell you about Starlink. Everybody wants to talk about something. This is just a good icebreaker. Maybe you saw a lowered Honda Acura in the driveway. Maybe you would ask, hey, by the way, whose Acura is that in the driveway? I used to drive one just like that when I was in high school. Boy, I miss those days. And maybe they say, yeah, that's my son's car. He's off to college or whatnot. Personal, brief introduction. Make sure it's relevant. Make sure that it awards meaning it gets the client to give or to tell you something. Make sure it rewards the client. What do you mean by that? It rewards them in a way that, hey, I got to talk about something that I love, or I got to say something or show something that I have pride in. You do that, you're almost guaranteed on the sale. And we're only at step 1. Okay, now that we've gone through step 1, we are at step 2. The client is going to come and he's going to say, yeah, I don't have any power in this part of my workshop. Your next priority is to summarize the client's electrical needs. You want to ask questions. Asking questions puts the clients at ease. It also justifies what you're going to charge in the end when you give a proposal. Remember, Everything is based on perceived value. Sales is value, perceived value. If they think the value is there, that paycheck is there for you, okay? So what you want to do is summarize it. Ask them what the problem is, when they noticed it, anything different going on. I love this question because it's so personal. You know what I ask? Especially if it's a Monday or Tuesday, Wednesday, I say, hey, did we have any parties, celebrations, or anything over the weekend that you might have plugged something in, a bounce house? Maybe did you have some cleaners at the house, or maybe the hardwood floors get refinished? Anything that you can do, even if it's a little ridiculous, to find out what was going on just before the problem started, okay? The second part, what you're doing is showing understanding of their challenges and their needs. You're understanding what happened and why it was a challenge for them, why the power is out, what they need to do to get it fixed, and why they want to get it fixed so badly. It gives you more ammunition to put into your proposal and to give the right words during closing. This part should only take a minute to 5 minutes to figure out before we move to number 3. Number 3 is your solution proposal. What do you propose to fix the problem? This should take a couple of minutes for you to explain to the customer. Don't just say, okay, got it, we're gonna replace some wiring and you're done. What you wanna do is you want to explain the solution and say, this is what I found. I found that, hey, when you said you were hanging those shelves in the garage, I believe you drove a screw through one of the wires. So this is how we're gonna approach it. This is how we're gonna solve it. When you talk about solving it, tell them that, in my opinion, this is the best way to take care of this. It will be the most fastest and most efficient and most cost-effective way to finish this project. Again, what you're building in is that value. They're not going to ask you later that, is this the best way to do it? Is this the cheapest way to do it? Because you're getting ahead of the game and you're giving them the most affordable solution upfront while explaining it. Also, part 2 of this is highlight any relevant past projects that might put the client at ease. For example, hey, Mr. Jones, you know, it's funny. We were doing an EV charger for a client who had a situation just like this. They tried to install it themselves and they ran into this problem. This is exactly how we fixed it in the garage. It's the most cost-effective and best way. It looks great. Okay, so now you're in, the customer loves you. They feel like they've known you for years. They've explained the problem to you. You've explained how the solution's gonna go and how you're gonna fix it. Number 4 is you want to add your unique value proposition. What do I mean by that? Hey, Mr. Jones, give me a few minutes while I write this up for you. In the meantime, I just want to let you know anything that we do has a full 1-year warranty. Unlike the competition or other electricians, we don't just warranty our workmanship and labor, we actually warranty all our parts as well. We don't care if it's a manufacturer issue. If I put it in, I warranty it. No questions asked for the full year. After that, it does go to the manufacturer's warranty. Give me 5 minutes and let me get this proposal ready for you. Number 4, plain and simple. Value proposition, why they should be going with you. Again, you're not explaining this after they complain or after they think your price is too high or after whatever, They are already being sold without being sold because we still haven't gone to the closing, which is number 5. And finally, number 5, which I think is the most important part, closing the sale. So remember when I said you come in armed, you come in ready to go to war? By having a clipboard, you finally open that up, you get your paperwork, you write it all up, and then you go to present it to Mr. Jones. Here's exactly what I say. Mr. Jones, thank you so much for having me out here. I went ahead and prepared the paperwork. I put everything that we talked about in it. Your total investment, by the way, did you hear these 2 words? I've went ahead and prepared the paperwork, not the contract. Your total investment, not cost or price. Mr. Jones, I went ahead and finished the paperwork. I've got your total investment here at $1,920. If you go ahead and okay my paperwork, I can go ahead and get started by disconnecting that circuit that we think is a hazard. And tomorrow I've got you scheduled for the crew to come back and finish the job. How does that sound? Did you see the flow here? I've already got a relationship with Mr. Jones. I told him that I prepared the paperwork, not a contract. Everybody hates contracts, right? I love contracts because you can buy a contract just like this as a template by going to www.the360electrician.com, right? Make sure you do the paperwork course and get yourself a contract. So I didn't call it a contract, even though we're contractors with contracts. Don't be that contractor without a contract. I didn't want to say contract because contract binds you to something nasty. I also didn't say your total expense, your total cost. It's going to cost you, cost is horrible. Your total investment, you're investing back into this property. Properties are investments. When you get get things done, when you eliminate hazards. Those are investments. Investments are gains. Costs are losses. And I also told them if they okay the paperwork, we don't want them to sign your life away, loans, credit card statements, cost, right? When you have to sign, it probably means you're getting into something nasty. I want you to okay the paperwork. Just like the person that taught me this said, make sure they don't write okay. They do need an actual signature. Then I finally closed it with a, if you do this, I'm ready to start the job now. Schedule it tomorrow. We'll have a crew out here whenever. You want to give them an exact time and day. The reason for that is you might have competition come in. They might not be able to get to this client for a month. You want to make sure that they know as soon as they give you the okay, you're ready to go. So what do? They look at it and they say, well, that sounds pretty good. You covered everything, Jeff. Let's go ahead with the project. Great, Mr. Jones. All right, so here it is. They sign up and go, so Mr. Jones, I've got you on schedule for tomorrow. One last thing, we do need a $300 deposit so we can hold that place. Boom, gives you a check for $300, gives you cash, you're out the door, you write it down, and that's it. What do you think? 5 simple tips to make sure every service call sale is a winner for you. If you got anything out of these videos, there's only one way to pay me back. You can do my coaching. You can do my paperwork courses, including paperwork, contracts, marketing, how to hire electricians if you're electrical contractors, how to 10x your client base in 10 weeks and beyond. All those available on my website, www.the360electrician.com. But the easiest way is just to simply hit that follow or subscribe so you can help me help you get better sponsors, grow the channel, and get more information like this that nobody else on any social media is giving you. We are the #1 channel for electricians to become electrical contractors. That's it for this video. Now get the hell out of here and start selling some electrical work, and then come back and spend the money on coaching, or at least let me know how it went. We'll see you on the next one.